What's up everybody and welcome back, and in this video we're going to be reviewing my Hyundai HY4B76 and also comparing it up against the Stihl BR600 on paper. Now I can't do a real world comparison because I currently don't own a Stihl BR600. However, I definitely plan to do one of these in the future, so stay tuned for that. So to start off, I'll tell you about the specs of the machine. Then I'll go into what it's like to use, followed by some of the pros and cons I found with the machine. Also, we'll see how it stacks up against a BR600 on paper. So this blower is a 74cc 4-stroke, which provides 2.4 horsepower at 7,000 RPM. This is enough power, but it's not quite enough to blow your cheeks off. The massive 1.9 litre tank keeps you blowing for around 1.5 hours when held flat out. The model we will be reviewing today has unfortunately been discontinued. However, you can still find the Hyundais for around 150 to 200 on the used market. You can also find the Makitas. So the Makitas and the Hyundais are the same machine underneath the skin and underneath the plastics. So I definitely recommend getting a Hyundai and save yourself a few quid, as they are both the exact same machine. This blower also has a panel air filter design. This is something you get on the more commercial end of the machinery spectrum and is very nice to have. This blower also features cruise control for blowing them large areas. The machine starts first pull most of the time, however when it doesn't it can be a right pain to get it going. So this brings me to the pros and cons. Now I'll start with the pros. Its price is definitely a big reason that I got this blower. I picked it up for £170, which I think is a good price considering the machine had only been used a handful of times. The blower has enough power for any of the tasks I ask of it. The 76cc engine runs sweet as a nut and has never let me down as far as I've had it. I like the large fuel tank, even though under heavy use I can be filling it up a few times a day. So now I'm going to roll some footage of me using the blower in real time. Please feel free to skip the video and we'll go on to the cons of the machine and then we'll compare it to the BR600 on paper. Enjoy! Now the biggest con is sometimes the machine can be a problem to get started. I'm not sure if this is my machine or is it due a service. However, it's very frustrating and sometimes I'm knackered before I put the thing on my back, which isn't obviously ideal. I'm also not a fan of how heavy the machine is. The straps sometimes dig into your shoulders, however this is manageable, but I guess it's something to note. Now let's compare this blower to a BR600. To start with, you can see the BR600 unexpectedly takes the lead, pushing 3.8 horsepower, a whole 0.8 horsepower more than the Hyundai. The Stihl is doing this while having a smaller displacement at 64.8 centimeters using the Stihl 4-mix engine versus the 74cc 4-stroke on the Hyundai. The Stihl is also significantly lighter, coming in at 9.9 kilos, almost 4 kilos than the Hyundai. That's a massive difference. The airspeed of the Stihl is also no match for the Hyundai, producing a max air velocity of 238 miles an hour while the Hyundai boasts a puny 140 miles an hour in comparison. The Stihl is also much quieter at 108 decibels, whereas the Hyundai is 8 decibels louder at 116. As you can see, the BR600 outperforms the Hyundai HY4B76, say that 2 times faster, in every aspect, so I would recommend spending the extra money and buying a BR600 instead. So a clean BR600 may set you back a few £100 more, maybe 350 to 400. However, I think this would be a better investment, as Stihls depreciate a lot less than the off-brand stuff. Looking at it on paper, I should have not been tight and spent the extra and got a BR600. The end.